Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. WWE has hinted at many turns in Rhea Ripley's continuing narrative with Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. Whether she eventually takes back the belt bears, Mommy is watching right now and will settle for pursuing retribution on Morgan, then Dominic Mysterio at the Bash in Berlin premiere live show on August 31st. Still, there appears to be a fresh target. On Ripley's back, taking to X/Twitter, previous OA champion for women hinted scheme under Rhea Ripley, the Empress of Tomorrow, has been missing since May after leaving the tag team for women contest for Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill made a visit, but at the recent Japan trip her tag mate took, Kyrie Irving still struggles on main event in line with Damage Control. Regarding the faction itself, let me say enough to claim they have been drifting eternally. Because I dropped her title on the most grandiose stage all in April against her past leader Bayley, maybe a rivalry with Mommy is just what is needed to revive them. OA turned over the poster of Deadpool and Wolverine with Later's faces changed to hers, Rhea's. In turn, check it out below. Wrestling Pro questions Damage CTRL's booking on WWE Raw following presenting ugly heels on the earlier this year, a SmackDown roster. Damage Control seems to be baby faces. Currently considering this in relation to his show maintaining a 100 Kanan score. Asked about his reservations, he does not know when they start to show babyface. Even since Damage Control covers everything, has been going well after the groups. 2 years ago, inception seemed as WWE's creative is not exerting the effort to tell a gripping tale with them at. This topic interests me to know when Damage Control shifted up. They clearly described everything else. Thus, well, but not this Kanan mentioned in passing. Dakota Kai allegedly has been sidelined. Because of damages, she is the second one joining. Damage Control is not active at the 3 last months, although, unlike OA who was supposed to be out for the remaining year, the predicted return is from a Zealand wrestler. In time for the Survivor Series games for War in November is really fascinating. WWE seems to have teased the Damage Control initiative using Dakota Kai recently on Raw observed, opening a present package inside but behind. Background, the Wyatt 16 heard the arena echoed with the throngs at Monday Night Raw started with an attitude of expectation. The air-carried stories had been whirling for weeks on top. WWE spectacular comeback, and the WWE Universe was keen to discover who would walk over the close the speculation to a fever pitch as the known sound of entry blared music through the speakers, letting the supporters explode in a thunderous noise. Yell out just Becky, none other. Lynch the guy producing her long-awaited gift. Go back to WW after a little hiatus. Wearing her usual leather jacket and steely tenacity, Becky gazed. Every grain the warrior, the WWE Universe had come to love and respect. She absorbed the vitality of the audience, increasing her arms to thank them for their support. Before starting her path to the ring, armed with a microphone in hand, Becky moved quickly. The ring, a little smile played on her lips. Did you miss me? She inquired of her Irish friend, accent slicing across the applause. Audience answered with an astounding force. Roar of validation. I have been absent for little, yet you know the guy cannot avoid. For too long, there is enough that modified since I left, and I have been monitoring closely what has been occurring around here as Becky kept on, clearly addressing the audience she created, that she was returned to occupy her place, the summit of the women's division, but as she mentioned a clear change. Her voice suggested a certain name that drew in the interest of everyone observing. Rhea Ripley Becky stated. Her voice carried a mixed regard and challenge. I watched you. Everyone else is talking about you. The one ripping through the women's sector comparatively to a wrecking ball. However, you see that there is variation between shredding the divide, stood at the summit, and last time I verified that area belongs to me. The audience hummed with anticipation. Under reference, Rhea Ripley, the present WWE Global Champion for women and among the most powerful powers inside WWE, has had an incredible run, tearing down every rival agent who stood in her way. But Becky's remarks were not just a cry to attention. They declared battle just as Becky was ready to go on. The arena darkened, and the menacing Rhea Ripley started to perform the songs up. The response of the audience changed from thrill to a concoction of wonder and fear. Rhea Ripley moved toward the ring, wore all black with her trademark line around her neck. Rhea had an atmosphere with intimidation, confidence. She melded gently down, her gaze fixed on Becky, who stood her basis in the ring. Rhea entered the ring and grabbed her own microphone. The strain between the two obvious. Becky Lynch. Rhea once again spoke softly, measured the man, the mythological one who believes she still represents the face of this divide, but since you left, things have evolved. Becky, what I don't care who you are, this is my ring now. Anyone who attempts to steal what's rightfully crushed. Mine. The two ladies stood facing each other, neither one turning back from Becky. Grinned sarcastically, came back and fixed Rhea in the eyes. You could be the champion, Rhea, but I have the challenges before, and let me share with you something lacking. One stricter than me, none hungrier. Thus, should you believe I just let you run about here, you have uncontrolled another item approaching. Rhea laughed, her eyes relentless. You speak a big game, Becky, but words mean nothing to me if you intend to battle. You know where I am, but be careful. Alerts once you enter the ring with me. One cannot go back and undo the stress. Between the two ladies was electrifying. The audience seated on the brink of their chairs as they expected the following action. Becky's comeback rebuilt the women's division, and the chance for a conflict between her and Rhea. With Ripley, the WWE Universe had been yearning throughout the last several weeks. The hostility between Becky and Rhea just developed, their meetings becoming more and more hot beside both ladies, grasping any chance to reach beneath the skin of each other. Becky never aspired to, from a task, back down from clearly evident she was obtaining for Rhea's title, but Rhea, sure in her own skills and her dominant reign, refused to allow Becky to stroll in and grab her stuff, putting great effort to create their linguistic. Soon the sparring became violent, with brawls breaking out both inside. Each time they collided outside the ring, the tension grew till leaving the WWE Universe yearning. The very obviously, the suspense was at an all-time level in Showdown High, and it was obviously something that had to make. At last the announcement arrived. Becky Lynch would object to Rhea Ripley regarding the WWE Women's World Championship at the next pay-per-view event. The encounter developed as a clash of the titans, a struggle between two of the most influential, fierce, and unreserved rivals in WWE history. Prepared the scene for a confrontation would identify the actual top star of the ladies. Split the evening of the pay-per-view came, and the scene was charged. Globally, enthusiasts tuned in, eager to see the result of this great effort. Hostility as the two ladies stood across the ring from each other. One could sense eagerness. The bell chimed.